All right, a little bit of an update development. We pulled the rear shocks off of the car because we're going to get some new Vikings, and we figured, well, let's get some good lengths. Got it at compressed height, got it at ride height, got it at full extension. And we pulled these old shocks off. Now, as I figured, these were probably some old speed shop, whatever, shocks. Ran the part number and figured out that, these are Koni adjustables. They're front shocks. They're made to be on the front end of a vehicle. They were the answer to a 90-10 drag shock. And they're still available today. They're probably great on the front end, not on the rear. So, figuring out that why the car squats, why changing the springs on this car and putting the spring rate on that everyone said it needed made the car burn out at 60 miles an hour. And it's because it was put together with front shocks on the rear. So, gonna give Viking a call, send them some information, send them the part numbers of the shocks we were using and spring rates, and we should be in a whole lot better situation. But that's the update for now.
These are our scales.
Right. So now that we figured out that the rear shocks were front shocks, we started looking at the front end. Ordered new shocks from Viking. Now we're looking at the front end. How can we slow it down a little bit for the wheel stand? Because the guy at Viking said your rear shocks won't do much of all for that. So we've got these nice MG shocks, which you can imagine how these are made for high horsepower. And they kind of just go wherever they limit. It's just a fluid dampen thing. So now we're going to look into, can we get this revalved to add some more pressure to it so that it doesn't let the front end lift up as hard as it does. Because if we go to the data board, the car sitting, you can't even see the front leaf spring. The car at launch, you can see the whole thing. So it's coming up quite a bit. And we've got to figure out how to tame that. All right, another beautiful cold morning here in Ohio. Just gassed up, gonna head down to Summit for a couple of pieces, parts, but first need to stop by North Gateway, drop off the tube. Dad's got new, he's mounting the big racing tires on the Convo Pros because he's been running these 50-pound steel wheels. So switching over to the Convo Pros that came off the van should help a lot with the unsprung weight. So we're going to make a stop there and then head down to Summit. Kid, this was the original Summit Racing. And this was the building we used to come to for a long time. You know, I know Summit gets a lot of crap and everybody's into the shop local, buy small, and I totally get that and support it. But for us, Summit was the local. That was our local speed shop. And then in the early 90s, they started selling fiberglass bodies and kind of got into like a street rod building side business, and that was the street rod shop. I forget what the name of it was now, but then they moved over and built the huge 1,000,000 square feet complex that we go to now. Still only was the only one in the country for a long time, and then they started building the other ones out west a little bit, and it was always funny to us because it was like, oh yeah, we can come pick it up, it's in stock. And they're like, well, it's in stock in Las Vegas. But this is it. Summit Racing Equipment. Working on getting my paycheck direct deposited here. Some of you might not be fortunate enough to have something like this close to home. We kind of take it for granted sometimes. We're going to do curbside pickup today, just because we can during a pandemic, for posterity's sake. Okay, using a new app, lost some footage, but that's the way it goes. I see a lot of people on the YouTube channel going, oh, I had the whole thing loading and then it died. So the heads and intake are being ported on the 34, even though they were 440-1 Indy heads. Learned that they were never really ported. So running into a whole lot of things where the truck should not have been as fast as it was. And now that we're doing everything the right way, it probably won't make a difference, because that's how it goes. But blower's still like 6 weeks out, so we'll have everything back together, hopefully get the shocks on it. The shocks are in town. They tried to deliver them on Friday, but it was nobody was home to sign for them, so we'll get those tomorrow. Got the new shocks from Viking, really excited about that, actually being able to have some adjustability on the rear of the car. In the meantime, the reason I went down to Summit was I picked up some more pieces, parts for the nitrous system that I'm putting into the van. So so far I've got the Innovate Motorsport nitrous safe gauge with the O2 sensor. This monitors air fuel, and if it goes lean, it'll shut the system down, which I really like. I don't want to hurt anything. I got a 6AN quarter turn valve. I've got the nitrous bottle is behind the seat in the van, but I'm going to mount this right to my shifter so I can shut it off and turn it back on. So that'll be there. I got this switch panel, even though it's an ignition start switch panel, I'm going to use it for my arm the system and purge. I was looking at buying the nitrous outlet, real nice switch panels that they make, but I don't need 4 buttons, I only need the 2. And I'm going to mount this off the back of my shifter, kind of make a little nitrous command center right there. So this will work for that. And I picked up the Nitrous Express Maximizer EZ timer controller, so that this will be able to let me ramp in to progressive nitrous controller up to 4.5 seconds. So it starts to pulse the solenoids at 20% of full flow. And you can do that for up to 4.5 seconds. So I'm hoping another couple weeks to be able to pull the trigger and buy the kit, the plate and the bottle and everything, and get that, and then I'll have everything I need. And I can start wiring that stuff up. It's February here, so spring is going to be coming pretty soon, and I don't want to have the thing apart. There's a no prep race May 1st that I want to go to, so I want to be able to get everything together, make sure it's right. I'm changing the fuel tank out. I still got to put the big fuel pump in it. Just making sure all that stuff is right, but it's definitely not in as many pieces as the 34 is. So that's it for updates as of right now. Hopefully this video loads and I don't have to redo this again.